All right, good morning. Welcome back to TwinStick Garage. So in today's episode, I'm going to lean into my 359 Peterbilt project that I have named Little by Little. Now, of course, if you're a fan of the channel, you know that I drug this truck out of a field back in 2017. I started restoring it outside in the gravel, in the winter, in the rain, in the snow. As you can see, we got a lot of snow here, so I'm going to shovel the snow out of the way. And it's kind of been a on-again, off-again project. And I kind of got a little bit stalled out. I'm someone that gets easily distracted. Of course, after I bought the Peterbilt, I brought home the Kenworth 900A. And there she is. And started building that up like the Smokey and the Bandit truck. And then I drug home another cab over truck. Oh, today is a good day. And I got going on that one. And then I thought, well, I need to have a Bandit Trans Am to run blocker for the Smokey and the Bandit truck. So then I've been working on the Trans Am. And poor little by little, just kind of got ignored and not necessarily forgotten about. But I did a bunch of work over the Christmas break there. I got the big hole conversion done. But the truck has just kind of been sitting. And I thought, you know what, Mark? Why don't you lean into this truck and get this thing painted? It's not that far from paint. Now, obviously, I need to do a little bit of body work. I still need to finish up the sanding. But after that, I mean, literally, I could throw primer and pick a nice metallic blue and paint the truck, and then I could start rebuilding it. And I think that would be good. That would be good for my brain to actually have something that's going to get completed and actually finish a project that I actually started the channel with. I think that that'd be pretty cool. So that's what I'm going to work on today, is to see how far I can get on the body work on little by little. So if you're a fan of the channel and you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that I actually sanded the entire Snowman rig with a Milwaukee orbital sander. Now, a lot of folks in the comments when I was using this are like, that's not an auto body tool, that's for woodworking. And they are correct. However, it does work. Now, I've used this, I've damn near wore this thing out. Milwaukee should actually send me another one. The battery is sloppy in the slot there, and then the speed control doesn't really work anymore. So I've damn near wore it out, but it's been a good tool. The only problem with this tool though is it only spins in a circle. It's not, it doesn't have the dual action. The dual action is it spins and then it moves side to side kind of in a random orbital fashion. And a lot of the folks, when I was using this, were commenting, a lot of the professional body folks were going, get yourself a Doodlebug or a dual action air drive one. So I finally coughed up the money to get one of those. Now the only thing with these is they're loud as hell. They're noisy, and you got to listen to your air compressor hammering away. But they are actually very efficient. Look how fast that cleaned that off of there. So I guess what I'll do is I'll suit up. Well, not really suit up. I'm just going to put on obviously a mask and some hearing protection, because again, it's super loud. But I do have my Work Tunes headphones there that I can listen Bluetooth to my country music while I'm sanding. So I'll go ahead and do that and see if I can't get this panel cleaned up. Like I said, noisy, but efficient. nice thing about this smaller doodle bug is it does fit down in tighter spaces, better than the Milwaukee with the giant battery, but it's still too big to get down in there. So I'm going to have to resort to some smaller tools to try and work all that out of there. But what I find is it can be overwhelming if you end up just trying to get the whole truck done at once. So I try and bite it off in smaller pieces. So right now I'm just focused on this area of the hood, and I'll try and get it as best as I can rather than to go back to it later on, because otherwise you just keep dancing around and you never really get anything done, and it just seems, like I say, overwhelming. So I'll just focus on that for now. I'm going to try and get this little strip of old paint cleaned out in there, and then oh, that'll actually fit not too bad in there. Just try and do the best you can with what you got, right? So they say, how's that old proverb go? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And sometimes this truck feels like that when I'm nibbling out little tiny bits of paint around a single huck rivet. And then I look at the truck and go, oh man, there's a lot of hours that's going to go into this. But I guess that's why when you go and get a quote from a body shop to get your semi-truck painted, they want like 30 grand to do it. Just because of the hours. There's so much time that goes into, I mean, there's a lot of time that goes into painting a car like the Trans Am, but the trucks are they're just a scale up just because there's so much material. And then these huck rivets, which look just beautiful when they're painted, but they are a pain in the rear to go around and just clean up all that paint. But little tools like this, I picked up this AirCat a couple episodes ago on Amazon. And it's again, it's a noisy tool just like the doodle bug, but it's got a kind of an oscillating head, and I find the triangle head, even though I can't get triangle sanding pads, so that's why I'm just using a circle one. But I find that it can kind of get in there around the huck rivet, and it's a much smaller device, so I can kind of get into these little spots and clean that out. And it's nice because I was thinking I was going to have to hand sand the inside here, but I'm pretty sure this tool, yeah, it'll fit in there. So it's just going to take time. That's all this is. It's just not a lot of skill, I wouldn't say, just time and patience to get it all done. But as I mentioned, just when you're tackling something like this, if you're going to paint your own truck, is to just pick a small area and just finish it up. Get it as good as you can, get around all the huck rivets and finish it up, and then move on and bite off another piece, because yeah, it can seem overwhelming at times. All right, so I was getting a little aggressive there with the DA, trying to get all this paint out of there, and I was focused on trying to get all of the paint down to the bare metal, and I did what I can't stand. I flattened the huck rivet, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's down below here. So it doesn't take much, especially if you're using, so I'm alternating between 80 and kind of 120, 150. I use 80 if I really want to get in there and get the old paint off. But when you use 80 and you're using a lot of hand pressure, you'll end up flattening your huck rivets out. So be careful when you're sanding. Don't get too aggressive. Oh boy. Well, it's getting there, little by little. So I actually forgot that I picked this up when I was doing the body work on Snowman. It's just a little, it's called a Black & Decker mouse, but it's got this extendable tip on it. And what you can do there is just throw on a sanding disc. Again, it doesn't matter if it's not the right shape. And I remember there was a few spots that were tricky to get into. That's why I picked this up at Home Depot. Again, it's a woodworking device, but who's to say it doesn't work for auto body? And it allowed me to get into this spot a little better. Huh. Not bad, eh? Deep hand sanding, I'll tell you that. Yeah, not bad. All right, I decided to take a bit of a break from sanding. And before I go in and have a quick little lunch break, I thought what I might do is put a little bit of Bondo to fill in and level out all the little bumps in this fender. Because just years of rocks being pelted up from the tire from underneath has done a number on these. So I'm going to try and smooth it out as best I can. So I'm just trying to get all the dust and oil off before I get started. Obviously want to make sure the metal's as clean as possible before you try and get something to stick to it. All right. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Mix up a batch of nothing but the best. Marquee Bondo. That smell takes me back to when I was doing the body work on Snowman last year. All right, give her a little bit of a stir. I gotta get another one of those spatulas to scoop it out of there. Okay, something like that. Another one of these. That one's seen better days. See, once you get a uniform color, so it starts out kind of cream color and then you put the blue hardener in there. So once you kind of get that uniform green, you're ready to start spreading. And I'm sure there's a lot of experts out there going, "You're not doing it right," but that's okay. It'll work. Don't you worry. There's more than one way to skin a cat. There, something like that. Okay, smells delicious. Go get myself a sandwich and I'll come back and start working that down. All right. Smells like a paint shop in here. Yeah, it's getting there. Still a little wavy. But again, that's just the first round. A little bit of a high spot there. Yeah, your hand's the best identifier of high and low spots. Now, what I can also do is, I got this dry guide coat stuff. I need to spread this on. And then as you sand, it sands off the high spots and gets rid of the black coloring there. And then wherever it doesn't get rid of it, you know you got a low spot. Fun and games. So as you can see, hang on. That's why you should never paint, or never do your body work where you're going to paint. But unfortunately, I don't have the luxury to do it anywhere else. But here, you can notice the dark, whatever it is, charcoal, the guide coat didn't get sanded out in this spot. So that's a low spot there. But everything else is kind of coming along. You can see the high spots kind of coming through. But of course, the Bondo filler is making it decently level. Again, this is wash, rinse, repeat when it comes to auto body. You kind of do it, and then you do it again, and then you do it again, and you do it again. And the more times you do it, the better the end product's going to be. So what I'm doing now, I'm just looking for high spots. Because low spots, I can obviously fill in with filler. But high spots, you can just give a little whack with the hammer there. And beat that down. It's getting there though. Definitely getting there. It's a heck of a lot better than it was when I started this morning. Okay. Maybe time for another round of Bondo.
Few inches later.
Man, that's getting good. Just a haze of Bondo dust. A friend of mine dropped these off recently. Can't let them go to waste, right? Oh man. Well, I hope that gives a sense of how much time it takes. It took me the whole damn day, and all I really got done was one fender and one side. Well, that's not true. So while I was letting the Bondo harden up on this side, I jumped over here. Here, I'll turn this fan off. I jumped over to this side and sanded this all down, and then I put some filler in on this side. This bumper is not nearly as rock chip as the other side was, so shouldn't take me quite as long. And like I always say, any progress is progress, right? But I mean, that is almost ready for some primer. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up there. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I should have called the episode Watch Mark Sand, but it's just a little bit closer to getting ready for its final metallic blue paint job. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks again for watching. See you next week, and don't ever forget, if you got it, truckers brought it.